Turning now to Buffalo's mayoral race and what will likely be two big buzzwords heading into November: fiscal crisis. While the true scope of financial problems facing the Queen City may differ depending on who you ask, we know it matters to voters. And that's why tonight I'm asking mayoral candidates what they plan to do with your tax dollars. Buffalo's money concerns most recently making headlines earlier this month when the city's Common Council floated plans to increase the property tax levy. Lawmakers wanted the added income from property tax to address the city's reported $40 million budget deficit. But even that deficit is a disputed number. When the city's longest-serving mayor resigned in September, Byron Brown claimed the shortfall hovered around $25 million. So today, I reached out to the leading candidates on the Democratic ticket for Buffalo's top job. I wanted to find out how these four plan to address that multi-million-dollar problem. Plus, I spoke with a Buffalo neighbor about what she'd like to see in return from the city's next leader. Tahira Ojumu has lived in Buffalo her entire life, and on this bright sunny day took some time to speak with me about what she'd like to see from the city's next mayor.
I just hope that everybody's treated fairly and treated with respect and everybody's looked after.
What would your message be to the candidates for mayor about the financial situation here in the city?
To please fix these streets and these potholes and not forget about marginalized communities.
We have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to change path in the city of Buffalo.
On Friday, New York State Senator Sean Ryan, the endorsed Democrat for Buffalo mayor, laid out his plan to fix what he calls a fiscal crisis in the city that's been brewing for nearly 20 years. How would you put your fiscal plan into a nutshell for constituents?
The first thing we need to do is figure out how deep our deficit is. It's beyond belief that the city does not know their deficit right now. So you can't go fix your budget until you come clean with the people of Buffalo of how badly you've driven the city into debt.
Ryan says he plans to get the city's finances back on track by working with government partners, ending wasteful spending, and relieving the tax burden for low-income homeowners. So with Ryan's plan laid out, we checked in with the other Democratic candidates for their financial visions for the city, including Garnell Whitfield, who tells me his plan also begins with an audit of city finances.
What we need to have is transparency. So that's one thing that the audit will provide. And secondarily, what I would like to do is to have community oversight. I have no problem with that. I've worked under a hard fiscal authority control board before very successfully. I think that builds trust.
We've got a large deficit that we're dealing with head straight on. This year, second quarter, we're looking at a $13 million deficit. But through some tweaking and some moving some spending around and freezing some spending, and we're now projected this year to be $1 million surplus. And then looking at next year, I've talked to the departments about a 10% reduction in their spending.
We got to reevaluate the departments and their output to the residents, as well as the glaring issue of the overtime. Those are really the top priorities if we're going to right-size the ship, that we have to be in clear understanding of where we are as a deficit.
We are a city of good neighbors. We all look out for each other, and I think that's what we need to continue to do.
Now, the city's Republican committee has endorsed a candidate, James Gardner, for mayor, but he has yet to formally launch his campaign. Once he does, as we get closer to November, we'll stay on top of the fiscal issue and possible solutions from all candidates.